All right, Chris. So we were talking about some of the advantages of a smaller employer having a 401k. They don't think about it like Gino said. They think about it's just going to be costly. I don't want to have the hassle of it. And you gave us so many tax benefits and really income benefits to them to be able to put money aside, tax deferred themselves. And then on top of it, we were just starting to touch on the piece about once you have a 401k for your employees or trying to hire to your company, the loyalty and longevity piece of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me touch on one thing I failed to mention in the last half, and that's payroll taxes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if your employees are contributing to the 401k, you have a reduction in the amount of payroll that's going out, and payroll taxes potentially get reduced, and it's another benefit that goes back to the employer. So, and that's something that nobody talks about. It really is that people talk about the deduction for the matching contribution and what you get to put into the 401k. Some of those things are frequently discussed, but the reduction in payroll taxes is something I rarely hear anybody mention.
You know what's great about that is you compile that with the matching, right? Because the more matching you give, the more likely that your employees are to put money in, which means you'll reduce your payroll tax more. And if I'm not mistaken, I think payroll tax is like 10%. So it could be cheaper to match your employees' contributions.
Definitely, yeah. So huge benefit, huge benefit. That and when an employer comes to us, we run a calculation to try and figure out the pros and cons of moving forward with a plan.
I love that.
And really put it down on paper so they can see what is it going to cost them, what are the benefits going to be. And I've seen these calculations done by others, and the payroll taxes is always the piece that's left out.
That's a big piece.
The
and
forgotten
I love
benefit.
You do a total benefit analysis like we do. Yeah. We call it total cost analysis. And it's so much easier because numbers don't lie.
Right.
Once you put the numbers out there, you go, see, here's what we're talking about. Just yapping and trying to sell something. You're not selling anything.
Mm-mm.
You're actually bringing a benefit to them, laying them out in black and white. And you can lay out, we just talked about, 7, 8 pros and really no cons to it, and not only the cons they had in their head to where they can give a definite benefit to themselves and their employees by having a 401k plan.
Sounds like almost everything else, just lack of education out there.
Yeah, and to touch on what you're saying, when I run an analysis, there are times where I run the analysis and go, this is too costly for you and probably not the best thing for you. So it happens.
Mm-hmm. It happens, yeah.
The problem is that the majority of times that's not the case, but the good news is we're going to show you one way or the other whether it's a benefit for you.
It's always better to know than to just wonder.
Love making educated decisions.
Definitely.
Really nice. And if you're just tuned in, you're here with the Donna and Gino Real Estate and Financial every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And we're here with Chris Ingram, Ingram Financial Solutions, one of the top financial planners in town and part of our America's Professional Resource Group. You can always find out more at aprgi.com. And also, Chris, how can they get a hold of you?
Best way is to look me up online, www.ingramfinancialsolutions.com, or you can give me a ring at 661-255-9555, extension 116.
Located right off of Valencia Boulevard.